Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Venaxius and we are playing Hearthstone Arena, Into the Pit. Our last run we came out positive at the very least, 4-3 as a paladin, which I'm okay with because of simply how inexperienced I was with the class. We could roll Hunter again, but I think we could use some variety, and that means a Shaman, which I've honestly been itching to play for quite a long time. I think they have a lot of potential in Arena. The overload aspect of a lot of their cards may or may not screw you over in the next turn, but because I have not actually played a Shaman very often at all, we're going to find out. I do find Lava Burst and Stoneforge stacks to be very appealing, as they will present me with a lot of board control for creatures, which I will eventually have in my deck. I really don't like Nightblade or Worgen Infiltrator's creatures, so we're going to go with Rockbiter Weapon here as well, which also gives some control, I'm sure. I think you can do some pretty cool things with Totemic Might if you get Flametongue Totems, but because we don't have any right now, I'm not going to bank on getting any, and I'm going to go with a safer pick of Rockbiter Weapon. This is all my opinion, of course. You may very well disagree, and I might agree with your disagreement once you explain yourself, but we're in the heat of the moment here, and I am going to pick a big game hunter. I can't resist this guy, you know? He does so much good for me in so many situations, and he can really turn around the game, like I may have said before. I don't actually quite remember. We'll take War Golem here. So now we have a couple of creatures that are very much built for the late game. And as much as I hate to say it, I've got to get another Stoneforged Axe. I don't think the two creatures in that pool were very strong either. Here we'll take a Raging Worgen though. And now we actually have a creature, which is good. Out of the three here, I think Ancient Brewmaster will be good. I'm sure we'll be getting some battle cries eventually. And this is an interesting sort of situation. Sunwalker's not my favorite. The Divine Shield has potential to be quite useful sometimes against certain classes and certain decks. Mana Addict, whenever you cast a spell, gain to attack this turn. We have two Rockbiter weapons. This could actually make her like a 6/3 on the turn that we cast Rockbiter weapon on her, which sounds pretty cute because you can get a lot of efficiency out of it. We have a Lava Burst as well. I think she can benefit quite a bit, but I'm going to go with Manatite Totem because card draw is something we definitely could use. And now this is one of the hard decisions here. We have Flametongue Totem, which I have talked about briefly, and we have Flesh-Eating Ghoul, which is also a great card and I like it a lot. What did I take last time? Manatide? We could take Flametongue Totem and then maybe we'll get a Totemic Might later on, and that would be a really cool combo. Flesh-Eating Ghoul combines well with Stoneforged Axe sometimes because I can kill things and then Flesh-Eating Ghoul stays alive and benefits. Stoneforged Axe is actually a 2/3 though, and that makes it less viable with Flesh-Eating Ghoul considering the number of 3 health drops that exist within draft and within like general creatures. So let's go with Flametongue Totem. Let's try it out. Ooh, this is tough. It's going to be either Mad Bomb or Bloodlust for sure. I fiddled around briefly with Bloodlust. I feel like if we are ahead to the point where we have a bunch of creatures on the board, because chances are within draft picks and within Arena, people are gonna gravitate towards kill spells, and that means that there won't be like 8 creatures on each side at any point in the game because we're killing each other. And so I'm going to pick Mad Bomber because he's a fun card too. Sometimes he does amazing things for you, and sometimes he just like does 3 damage to you, and it really sucks. Hex is what we'll go with here for sure. I don't think a 3rd Rockbiter weapon is well advised, and a Harvest Golem will be my pick here. The Shocks, I don't know how I feel about them. Honestly, I can see them pairing well with things like Stormforged Axe because that adds that last tick of damage, but is that card efficient? Not at all, really. Raid Leader here is a bit iffy in my opinion. We have 0 taunts. He's going to get targeted and beaten down, I feel. And an Earthen Ring Farseer can offer some good utility. Maybe it'll heal up like a Flame Tongue Totem or Manatide Totem when they're at 1 health, and that would be really good. I'm coming to like Earthen Ring Farseer and that Restore 3 health effect a lot more because you can target that health restoration, which makes it very useful. I think I'll go with Acolyte of Pain here for some more card draw. We do have a lot of 3 mana cards, so let's look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 3 mana cards. That's a lot. So maybe we'll go with the Stranglethorn Tiger. Definitely not Dust Devil. Just think about all the cards and spells that deal 1 damage, and then it's going to overload 2 the next turn as well, and you're like, well, absolutely not. Especially because mages are very popular these days. I think we will take Stranglethorn Tiger instead of Acolyte of Pain, to be honest. And here we're definitely going to take Lord of the Arena. And because we have quite a few non-creature cards, I think Fire Elemental with the Battle Cry is going to be a lot more useful than Frostral Forlord, but let's double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Especially early game, we have a lot of cheap non-creature cards, and that's going to make me choose Fire Elemental, which I think will also have potential to do a lot of fancy turnaround plays with the 3 damage. Darkscale Healer is interesting. Gurubashi Berserker is also interesting. I don't see a very viable way for us to do like a single damage to get the buff out of Gurubashi, and Darkscale Healer with the 2 damage increase and 2 health decrease, it's a pretty not as tough decision as I think, to be honest. I'm going to go with Darkscale Healer. Their Star 2 health may be useful, but oftentimes people are going to burst down your creatures, or minions I should say, as quickly as they can. Because we don't have a lot of taunts, Feral Spirit sounds pretty good. It does have an overload too, though. But for 3 mana, 2/2/3 Spirit Wolves with taunt is pretty good. Ancestral Spirit, what could we do with that? I would think the Battle Cry effect triggers from an Ancestral Spirit proc. But we do have some large creatures that might be worth bringing back. Or maybe even like Manatide Totem or something like that for that extra card draw to facilitate. Oh man, I don't know. I think I'll go with Feral Spirit here. Because even though we have some decent targets for Ancestral Spirit, we need taunt. I think that's a higher priority for me here. And we'll take Fairy Dragon because I don't like the other 2 cards that were offered. Now that I mentioned taunt, we have a Sunfear Protector, which is good to facilitate that. But we also have Lava Burst, and I like Lava Burst a lot, and I'm going to take it. Hopefully that ends up being the right decision and it doesn't come back to bite me in the butt. And here we are torn between Acolyte of Pain and Wind Fury Harpy. We have 8 cards left to choose. I feel like it is probably important to buff up our late game a little more. At the same time, our only source of card draw right now is Manatide Totem, and I am quite certain that it's going to just be targeted and killed really quickly no matter what. However, I don't see a way to facilitate a lot of card draw out of Acolyte of Pain, so I'm going to take Wind Fury Harpy. Now that I think about it, Acolyte of Pain would have been great with Ancestral something or other. They return it back to the field when it dies, but I really didn't think about that, I guess. This is a tough decision because I don't like any of these cards. Cold Light Oracle especially is just so dicey because both players draw 2 cards, and then you're entirely reliant upon the RNG and hope that you get better cards than they do. And because we have totems and all that, I think Master Swordsmith does a good job of making those more viable. Here we have an interesting decision to make. I think we choose one of the 2 cheaper mana cost ones. Iron for Grizzly or Shield Bearer. Taunts are obviously good. Because we have Flame Tongue Totem and Rockbiter weapons and stuff, I want to try out Shield Bearer and see if I can make him work with this deck. We have a Flame Tongue Totem, we have Rockbiter weapons. We have Stormforged Axe to do damage. Other than that, there's not a lot of buffs for him, but I think it will at least be interesting. Now, our choice here is between Lightning Bolt or Totemic Might. This is also a tough decision. I did say that Totemic Might would be cool with Flame Tongue Totem, as well as Mana Tide, to facilitate more card draw, but Lightning Bolt is a great damage source. I guess we do have Rockbiter weapons, which are sort of indirect damage spells. We have Stormforged Axes, and 2 Lava Bursts and a Hex. Is that enough? I don't think the Totemic Might's going to make a huge difference because of the early mana curve we have, so I'm going to take Lightning Bolt here. And hopefully that doesn't come to bite me in the butt either. Absolutely, we're going to take Hex. Hex is a great card, especially in the late game against gigantic creatures, which I anticipate we will be up against. Now here, we do have quite a few overload spells, don't we? We have Lightning Bolt, 2 Stormforged Axes, and 2 Lava Bursts, and a Feral Spirit. I think that gives us enough overloads to make this Unbound Elemental useful, actually. And here we'll take a second Stranglethorn Tiger, because I'm not a huge fan of either of the other options. And here we have a choice between Abomination or Arrogant Commander. We have Lord of the Arena for taunt late game. We have some pretty cool cards like Mana Tide and stuff that are already worth defending. So I'm going to take... But then the Death Rattle from Abomination basically kills the Mana Tide and Flame Tongue and stuff. Oh, shoot. Let's go with Arrogant Commander. Charged Divine Shield is good. And that is going to be our deck. Let's hop into our first game and go into like the real pit where we actually play against other players. Here's hoping. Once again, I'm feeling pretty okay with this. I am quite unfamiliar with Shaman though, so maybe Overload is actually a lot worse than I'm making it out to be, but we'll find out when the plays actually happen here. Let's see who we're up against. A warrior, eh? How worried am I about warriors? I don't know. I think they're going to be okay. I go first. I'm going to keep these 3 cards. They look good. We will, of course, say hello. And we'll end our turn because we don't have a coin or anything. What am I worried about from a warrior? I don't know. They can stack a lot of armor, they have really good weapons. He has a Grimscale Oracle, which is quite peculiar. Very peculiar, to be honest. You know what? I'm going to Stormforge decks. Why not?
Elements guide me.
Maybe he has a lot of Murlocs in his deck. I don't know, because it has 3 durability, I don't feel bad about using my Stormforge decks. And with the Overload, we are going to simply play a Flame Tongue Totem. And that is going to draw me into a turn where I have 4 mana available.
Elements guide me.
That's interesting. We'll probably play Raging Worgen. It will have very strong stats to begin with. That'll make it, or Flame Tongue Totem, very much of a target. And we've already dealt with 2 creatures here with Stormforged decks, which is good. This guy is scary though. But you know, we have Rockbiter Weapon too, which is good. I'm going to play Raging Worgen. I'm going to Rockbiter Weapon myself. Hopefully that works, yep. And with my final proc of Stormforged decks, we have dealt with 3 creatures, and that is pretty good. Mind you, we also spent another card, Rockbiter Weapon, and that leaves us at quite a severe card disadvantage.
Try this.
I definitely still don't have a huge amount of card draw, do I? That's absolutely going to be a lightning bolt target for me, though. And we'll deal with that Overload. Right now we don't have anything that costs, like... Oh wait. We do have the Fire Elemental, but that's okay, I think. Especially because we'll still have enough to play Harvest Golem, which will also be buffed. Flame Tongue Totem is absolutely going to die next turn. If he's already targeted, I can't see the warrior leaving it at 1 health.
They are banned to my command.
And then the Spiteful Smith is kind of scary. Not overly so, though. I'll probably just swing at him and force him to target one of my creatures to get his Enrage proc. I mean, I could just Hex it as well. Am I that worried about it? He doesn't have any creatures right now. And next turn we can deal with him with Fire Elemental and stuff, so no, I'm going to save my Hex. We're just going to swing in at him. I'm going to play a Totem. And that'll be my turn. We got the Wrath of Air Totem, which will be good with my Lava Bursts and stuff. We've already used Lightning Bolt. Actually, I think Lava Bursts are our only damaging spells now, so... You know, that's what happens when you play totems. Obviously, the most ideal totem that you'd want is a Stoneclaw. He plays a Stonetoe Spore and has 5 mana left, so I'm sure he's going to do something else on top of that. Yeah, that's a good play out of him. I can see him killing the Raging Worgen with his Spiteful Smith. That leaves it at 3 health. That makes that the ideal Fire Elemental target for sure, though. And we'll probably kill the Boar with our Harvest Golem. Leave the Earthen Ring Forest here because I don't have an answer for that at the moment. Oh. Well then. I guess we'll... Yeah, we'll target the Forest here with our Fire Elemental. Damage is good for sure, nonetheless. And the Spiteful Smith, we'll deal with him in some other way later. Of course I'm going to trade with the Brewmaster. Get this Death Rattle proc. No more mana, so I'm going to end my turn. I'll likely trade the Damaged Golem with the Stonetoe Spore because 2 damage is more than 1, so you might as well do the trade. I feel like he should have a solution for Fire Elemental. He might attack with the Stonetoe Spore and execute. But no, actually, he's not going to deal with any of my totems. I mean, creatures right now. I said totems just because I scrolled over the Wrath of Air there. Oh! That's a card I never really knew about. Haha! Of course, the Wrath of Air Totem survives. Brawl's a really cool card. I like that a lot. I don't think that necessitates well played. As BM as that sounds. You know what? He doesn't have anything out right now. I want a card draw. Let's do Mana Tide. Wait for this to process. Let's Master Swordsmith and Totem, and we'll wait before we play out Lord of the Arena. And we have Stone Claw, that's perfect. That'll hopefully protect my Mana Tide for this next coming turn at least. Now it even has an attack, that's so nice. If he does something like a cleave and damages one of these two minions, I could play Darkscale Healer. If he plays out a giant minion, I can play out Hex. We have some answers. He whirlwinds. What's his follow-up for this? I think Darkscale Healer is going to be our play for sure next turn. I mean, look at all the things he can heal now. And he plays out a Spiteful Smith again. Alright. Depending on if we draw anything else next, Darkscale Healer plus Hex is going to be our next turn. We got a second Hex. Makes me feel even better about playing out this one. Now, here's something's... Oh, wait. The 1/1 frog does not actually do damage. I forgot about that. We're just going to heal everything, though. Look at all that healing she did. We kinda sorta got our mana's worth out of that. And our tiny weak minions are slowly getting stronger. What's important is that Mana Tide Totem is still alive to facilitate some card draw.
What you want?
And because I don't see a huge solution to this right now. Never mind, we have a Lava Burst. We're going to Lava Burst. Absolutely fine. We're going to play a Lord of the Arena. Here's a question. I don't think we need the Wrath of Air Totem. So I'm actually going to sacrifice it and get more damage this turn onto the warrior, using our Darkscale Healer. I don't think anything terrible is going to happen as a result of that decision. Who knows, maybe it might and I'm actually screwed, but I feel like that was a smart play because we do have a lot of control right now. And that confuses me. Oh, okay.
Well played.
I thought he like misclicked or something for a second there, but we are going to be up 1-0 so far in this Shaman deck. And you know what? Let's do another one in this video. Maybe we'll break our streak and we will end up 2-0 instead of 1-1 at the end of our first video here. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. I do feel pretty good about the Shaman deck so far. I don't think it is as strong as I once thought, especially with our early game creatures because they are not very potent from a damage perspective. Maybe that'll change. We do have things like that elemental that have a lot of potential to be really strong early on. So maybe it's just what we drew. Absolutely, I'm okay with keeping this as well. Maybe not Hex, but at the same time, what if we never draw Hex over the course of the game because they're both on like the last 4 cards and she plays like a Deathwing or something crazy? That would not be fun. I think it's safe and we have enough control to warrant keeping Hex in our hand. She is going to coin and play something. Loot Hoarder. Now we can either play it safe, Stormforged Axe and kill it, or we can get freaky and play Mad Bomber. I have this smirk on my face because I kind of want to be cheeky, but so many terrible things can happen as a result. YOLO, let's do it. Please hit the... Alright. Pretty close to an ideal outcome there, and I'm happy with what Mad Bomber did because he did not simply attack me 3 times. River Crocodile-esque, eh? I was hoping that it would be a Bloodfen Raptor or something, because that would be more ideal because I could kill it with a Stormforged Axe. However, because it is not, I'm going to Mana Tide and we're going to trade and I'm going to facilitate some card draw for myself. We'll see what happens as a result of it. She's probably going to have a response to this, but if she doesn't this turn, then that gives us 2 card draws, and that makes Mana Tide Totem worth it. Alright. I'd say that it was definitely worth it. And we're just going to play another totem. I was hoping it was Stone Claw, obviously, but it doesn't always work out that way, and that's okay. Because Stormforged Axe is 2 damage, this Razor Fen Hunter is going to be a problem because I have 0 damage on the board right now. Next turn we're going to have 4 mana available to us, so I'm not sure exactly what I'll do. She's probably going to kill the Mana Tide this turn. I don't feel bad about that though, I got 2 card draws out of it. And that's pretty much as I could have hoped for there, to be honest.
Drink with me, friend.
And, oh, that's smart. She's going to get another 1/1 boar out of that. Mind you, I was not going to be able to kill those Fen Hunters, so it might have been more advisable to keep it there. Either way, I don't think those are bad plays by any means. And we're just going to play another totem here. We get a Wrath of Air again. It's going to buff up our Lava Burst. She's at the 5 mana range now, and that means that some pretty big things can come out. Next turn we'll have 6. We'll probably play either Windfury Harpy or Argent Commander. That is pretty much the most ideal situation we could have had there, because we were going to Lava Burst that. And now we have, well, no mana to actually do anything. Should I keep the Stormforged Axe equipped on me? I think so. I feel like that'd be smart. And next turn we'll have 5 mana available. We'll either like Lava Burst again, or Lightning Bolt, or we can Stranglethorn Tiger, which will also be good. What the Overload is doing for me right now is giving me card advantage, but it is not giving me as much board control or battlefield presence as I would normally like. Will we have something for 4 mana? Ooh, this is cool. We get to actually play with Unbound Elemental a bit. We're going to Lightning Bolt the Sungeon Shieldmaster, and use our last tick of our Stormforged Axe to finish it off. And we'll end our turn, and we have successfully buffed up Unbound Elemental once. Yay! I think he's a cool card. I think he works very well with Shaman spells because so many of them are Overload. That was not what she was supposed to do there, I don't think. And that feels a little bit dirty, but misplays happen, and I don't think that it was any fault of mine, I guess. I am sorry about that. That was not what she was planning on doing, I'm sure. At this point, I feel safe to put out a Windfury Harpy here. Gives us 1 mana for a Shield Bearer. We'll swing for 3. And what would she have done there? I think she was supposed to Fan of Knives first, and then that would make the combo proc happen on whatever that spell she used on herself was. Which would have made Unbound Elemental dead right now. She might kill it right now, though, which will be a little bit sad. Instead, she's going to backstab the Windfury Harpy, actually. The Argent Commander still has Divine Shield up, which is troublesome. So what is my response going to be to that? Honestly, I think I'm okay just hexing everything. And because we are not going to play a spell with Overload, we'll do 3 damage to that. Use our Windfury Harpy to do 8 damage to her. And we'll play Lord of the Arena. We are in a good spot right now. I think we have a lot of control. I have also very little experience with the Rogue deck, so I have no idea what she might have in store for us. She did draw a bunch of cards and get card advantage back. And she is going to get a couple small cards out. Nothing to change the state of the board right now, though. I just have a lot of really strong creatures here. And she's just going to end her turn, which I feel is probably the smart thing to do. Here we have a lot of mana available to us. I think it is going to be cool to Feral Spirit. Buff this guy up a little more, get a bunch more taunts. And yeah, I don't think that there was a whole lot she could do about the situation there. And we're going to be up 2-0 with the Shaman deck. Feels pretty good. And we are slowly making our way towards getting these quests done as well. Thank you very much for watching and joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate your support, and I will see you next time.